My name is Marcello. Welcome to the Source AV Design Group's YouTube channel. Today in this video, we will discuss the WARWICK Acoustics APERIO Golden Sound Signature Electrostatic Headphone System. The name Aperio is derived from the Latin meaning to uncover or open. This is a fitting name considering the headphones are open back and capable of uncovering a wealth of details when listening to your favorite music. The original Aperio was designed as a reference studio monitor headphone system, with no embellishment or coloration occurring between the Aperio amplifier and the headphones. However, the Aperio GSE has been retuned by Cameron, known in the audio community as Golden Sound, and WARWICK Acoustics, combining the Gen 2 BD HPEL transducers in the eStat headphones and redeveloping both analog and digital pathways to create a new version of the Aperio headphone listening experience. Packaged beautifully and securely in a large Pelican case, the awe-inspiring Aperio GSE system had my UPS delivery driver quite curious. The Aperio GSE amplifier is an integrated energizer, preamp, and digital to analog converter, allowing for flexibility in both analog and digital audio chains. The Aperio integrated energizer is designed to only work with the Aperio electrostatic headphones. The headphones produced in the United Kingdom at WARWICK Acoustics' state-of-the-art R&D facility utilize balanced drive precision electrostatic laminate for their transducers. These transducers require symmetrical, high voltage to generate a differential electrostatic force that moves the diaphragm. Each diaphragm is tested in WARWICK Acoustics Sound Lab, ensuring that each driver is within 0.5 dB of each other to create a matched pair. The BD-HPL diaphragm is a composite design comprised of two layers of BOP film, which are optimal for diaphragms due to their low and stable dielectric constant, low dissipation factor, high breakdown strength, and very low water absorption of 0.1%. Between the films is a vapor-deposited conductive layer of 24-karat gold acrylic-based bonding agents, which make the overall diaphragm assembly extremely thin, less than 1/4 the thickness of a human hair according to WARWICK Acoustics. The diaphragm is charged by a 1800-volt DC bias to generate the electrical field strength required, much higher voltage than the typical 580-volt energizers and electrostatic headphones you see from other manufacturers. One of the key features of the BD-HPEL is its extremely low moving mass, which is a fraction of conventional electrodynamic and planar magnetic transducers. This low moving mass, combined with the near elimination of resonant phenomena, enables the transducers to extend their high frequency range to over 60 kHz. The open ear cups house the transducers in magnesium, which according to WARWICK Acoustics provides superior damping when compared to aluminum. The Aperio headphones feature minimal materials around the transducers to prevent impeding airflow and avoid negatively affecting sound quality. The headphones' ear cushions are made from acoustically absorbent foam to help minimize resonances. The headphones have a bit of a clamp force, which on first listen can seem a bit tight. However, the clamp becomes less noticeable and the seal achieved is well worth it as it helps to ensure excellent low-frequency performance. The ear cushions are covered in premium, sustainably sourced cabretta leather. The top surfaces of the pads are perforated along with a copper thread mesh, which helps to dissipate heat for the listener. The headphones weigh only 405 grams, and the transducer is electrically isolated from the magnesium components, and the chassis of the headphone is electrically grounded for the listener's safety, according to WARWICK Acoustics. In addition, the internal wiring is insulated with high-voltage silicone and Teflon. The headphones are quite comfortable for my medium-sized head, especially after I got used to the initial clamping force. The headband has ample padding, and I didn't experience any hot spots while listening. The earpad openings accommodate my medium-sized ears well. However, listeners with large ears may experience their ears touching the sides of the pads. The headphones utilize high-performance polarized, self-latching stainless steel connectors with gold-plated copper multi-pole contacts for electrical connections to the headphone cable. The included cables with the headphone system are all very premium. The Aperio GSE system features two custom double-shielded high-performance input cables, a gold-plated USB 2.0 Type A to B cable, and an Ethernet cable with a full metal-shielded Nutric XLR connector, which is attached to the amplifier surrounding the Ethernet cable. The headphone cable is a custom design, optimized specifically for the Apereo headphone. The cable features a dual mono design with optimized conductor winding geometry and isolated shielding to minimize electrical crosstalk between channels. The unique electrical shielding is a copper-plated aramid fiber braid, which provides excellent EMI RFI shielding while maintaining exceptional flexibility and weight. So let's discuss the electronic side of the system a bit before diving into my sound impressions. Because the Apereo GSE is a complete system, every single decision was made with that in mind, cutting zero corners, even down to the included cables and connectors. One of the significant benefits of the Apereo GSE system is that all its electronic components, cables, and headphones are designed to complement and synergize the quality of sound. The system also works flawlessly with Roon, which is what I used for all my listening impressions. If you were trying to build an eStat headphone system, you would need to carefully consider the DAC, amplifier, headphones, and cables to achieve a quality of sound and performance that synergizes as well as the Apereo GSE system does. The Apereo GSE electronics feature a balanced design, with gain levels carefully optimized between all stages to maximize the signal-to-noise ratio. Using a dual mono topology allows the electronic side of the system to minimize crosstalk and interference between channels. Only the finest active and passive components are used in the Apereo circuitry. The analog line output section features a novel Class A circuit that can output high voltages with ample current, allowing it to drive outboard electronics in both professional and consumer-based applications. The Apereo utilizes a sophisticated and expensive clocking system for digital inputs, achieving ultra-low jitter and phase noise. A separate Linux-based subsystem buffers the Ethernet inputs to surpass typical DLNA limitations, enabling digital audio reproduction of DOP-256 or native DSD-256 and higher sample rate PCM formats up to 384 kHz. The DAC section utilizes dual 32-bit 8-channel ESS DAC chips, one per channel in a dual mono configuration to achieve a superb signal-to-noise ratio. Each channel's DAC section is housed within separate EMI shields and supplied by isolated local ultra-low noise power regulators according to WARWICK Acoustics. For volume control, the Apereo GSE features dual domain-level controls, one for analog attenuation and DSD signals, and a digital attenuator for PCM digital signals. The Apereo's balanced discrete MOSFET high-bias single-ended Class A amplifier section is optimized for driving the included headphones, supplying ultra-low noise DC bias voltage of 1800 volts. The headphone section also amplifies the analog audio signal to drive the transducers properly. Since the topology is Class A, with a sensitive DAC and clocking circuitry, the electronics require very stable, highly isolated, and ultra-low noise DC power with proper current for ultimate performance. Since everything is included in the Apereo GSE headphone system, there isn't much you need to worry about in the way of accessories or connectors. However, I would consider upgrading your power cord to a Clarus Crimson power cable as I did for my impressions, rather than the more basic power cord included with the system. Since the Apereo GSE features a balanced high-bias single-ended Class A circuit, the unit generates considerable heat even when idling and emits some warmth from the top of the chassis. With this in mind, the Apereo's case is CNC machined from 30mm thick 6063 aluminum, which acts as a heatsink, complemented by the flow-through ventilation on top of the case. If temperatures exceed 113 degrees, 4 ultra-quiet fans help in cooling the air. The Apereo GSE's internal processor controls fan speed. The large aluminum chassis is also a highly effective shield against EMI and RFI, with every section of the case bonded together. Looking at the front of the unit, you can see the power toggle switch, followed by the input selector, the display, the volume control, headphone outputs, and lastly, the mode toggle switch. Turning the unit around, you see the DC power, USB, AES3, and Ethernet inputs. Next, you have the unbalanced high-low selector, which allows for switchable gain and differential buffer circuitry to maximize audio performance for analog signals ranging from the low-level consumer audio to high-level professional audio. Next, we have a pair of RCA inputs, followed by 3-pin XLR balance inputs with another high-low selector, and lastly, the line-out section with a pair of unbalanced RCAs and balanced pair of XLR. The height of the unit is 2.68 inches by 16.26 inches wide and 13.82 inches deep, weighing 16.28 pounds, so a large desktop space or audio rack would work well for the system. The Apereo GSE headphone system is priced at $38,000, which is nearly $20,000 less than the renowned Sennheiser HE1 electrostatic system. Let's talk about how the Apereo GSE sounds. Fast, highly resolving, lifelike vocal and instrument timbre, emotionally charged, with an ultra well-defined soundstage with tall images and excellent soundstage width. Listening to Dead Can Dance for hours was absolutely intoxicating, with ethereal vocals that flowed across the headphones' well-defined, tall, and wide soundstage. The soundstage isn't artificially wide like listening to a pair of HD 800S headphones, but it is wide in the sense that the music extends well beyond the headphones and the scale and height of the images are magnificent. The vocals sound accurate, never sounding thin or unnatural, pulling you into music that is produced optimally for vocals like many of Melody Gardot's albums. Listening to Road to the Sun exemplified the beautiful timbre that the Apereo GSE system presents for the guitar and piano. Listening to movie scores from the great Hans Zimmer is pure magic. The Last Samurai soundtrack sounded powerful, yet graceful at all times, with the wind and string instruments sounding tastefully accurate without the system sounding analytical. Listening to Interstellar's Cornfield Chase was thrilling and emotionally moving, and listening to Mountains showed off the ability of the Apereo GSE system to reproduce the deep organ bass notes with clarity and authority. Kitaro's Heaven and Earth soundtrack showcased the system's finesse in capturing all the dynamic shifts in the music, along with the intricate instrumental details of the orchestra's various instruments. Tripping with Nils Fram blew me away as if I were in the hall listening to the performance live, one of the best experiences I have had listening to this album with headphones. So the Apereo GSE headphone system is not lacking in bass. Instead, it reaches deep and is quite impactful. The mid-range is gracious, defined, and airy sounding without sounding too forward in the upper mid-range, which I wholeheartedly appreciated as many systems today push the upper mid-range too far. The treble is extremely airy and displays cymbals and synthesizers exquisitely. All the while, the treble doesn't go too far at any time, never causing me listening fatigue in the upper frequencies, which I genuinely appreciate. The punch is also quite good for E-Stat headphones. This system, along with a couple of other electrostatic systems I have heard, changes the status quo in a way that's quite different from what you typically think of when discussing electrostatic headphones. Soundstage separation, width, depth, and image height are excellent. Detail reproduction is also fantastic. I'm struggling to find anything about the system I don't like from a sound perspective for well-recorded music. So while the system sounds fantastic with well-recorded orchestral, jazz, classical, avant-garde, new age, and vocal genres, does it sound as good with rock, metal, alternative, and electronic music? Listening to Bob Moses tearing me up, I was instantly impressed by the tight slam of the bass line opening the track, and the ethereal vocal chorus was also the next thing that really grabbed me when listening. Listening to Hyperdrama from Justice further solidified in my mind the ability of the Apereo GSE system to provide everything you need for superb electronic music listening. So while the headphones are not bass head headphones in any way, the separation of the bass from the other frequencies is masterful, along with the depth, detail, and slam of the bass. Listening to Tool's 10,000 Days album, an album that I absolutely love for the incredible guitar riffs, powerful drums, and mystical lyrics of Maynard, didn't disappoint me. I chose this album with intention, as the production on this album places the volume of Maynard's lyrics a bit lower than I would prefer compared to the rest of the band. This can sound even worse on headphones or systems that lack sufficient emphasis in the vocal midrange. The Apereo GSE provided me with clean and clear vocals, eliminating the need for parametric EQ on most tracks. Listening to Metallica's Metallica album was pretty epic. While I prefer a slightly more pronounced kick drum in Enter Sandman and perhaps a touch more warmth for Hetfield's vocals, overall the system performed quite well for the majority of metal and hard rock genres of music I listened to. Listening to Pearl Jam's 10 album was also quite very enjoyable. While I found Eddie's vocals could sound a bit thinner than I prefer on Once, they sounded excellent on Even Flow and absolutely masterful on Black. One thing I found myself wanting when listening to this album and a few other albums was finer control of the volume, which adjusts in only 3 decibel increments. The Apereo GSE is a system that can be enjoyed with all genres of music, and it will excel with well-recorded and well-produced high-resolution music. With music that isn't as well recorded or produced, a bit of parametric EQ will do the trick to help with some music that honestly needs a little love to sound optimal anyways. So is it worth its $38,000 price? It is for the right listener. For the ultimate head-fi listener who wants arguably one of the best electrostatic headphone systems in the world that still maintains a relatively neutral sound signature with a nice touch of color in the mid-range and bass while not straying too far away from what I consider neutral. Or for a music studio or music producer seeking a highly revealing, realistic sound with lifelike timbre reproduction in a professional headphone system for daily music production and mastering. This system would be an incredible choice when not using speakers. It is a system you really need to hear for yourself before making a purchase of this magnitude. It most definitely warrants a trip to our 10,000 square foot showroom if you are on the West Coast, Midwest, or traveling to visit family from the East Coast, as we have the Apereo GSE headphone system to demo for a limited time in our showroom, so don't wait to visit us to hear it for yourself. For more information on any of the products discussed in this video or to make a purchase, please visit the links in the video description. Also, TSAV has added some great options on our website. Our rewards program lets you earn points for discount coupons on future purchases. We have also expanded our financing options, so check those out and sign up for the rewards program today. We have some exciting videos coming this year featuring new product announcements, so please consider subscribing to our channel. From $100 earphones to multi-million-dollar home audio, cinema, and automation, TSAV is a hi-fi paradise for building the system of your dreams. This is the part of the video where we would love for you to share your thoughts on the WARWICK Acoustics APERIO GSE in the comments. Have you heard it yet? If so, what do you think? Until next time, friends, remember, let the music be your guide.